Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Here is day 4 of Tech Disc Week. Kind of like Shark Week, but less dangerous. And I've decided to change up the location a slight bit. I'm actually on the curb on the side yard of my house, and I've got the net elevated effectively by putting it here off the curb, and I'll be throwing on essentially a concrete tee pad into this net. But the reason I've done this is I wanted to elevate the net a foot or more. In other words, make this hex a more viable target for me. Because what I've been doing is I've been aiming when I'm at the same level as the net, effectively right here, which doesn't give me some leeway, because if the disc hits here, there's a greater chance they can bounce back. Whereas if it goes here, it's likely to fall in. So long story short is I've raised the hex to where it's a more viable path for me to throw upwards in that direction. So previously I focused on wobble and nose angle to some extent. Today I'm actually going to be focusing on launch angle and nose angle. So let's see how this plays out. One thing I've learned through this experience is how to overdo things. Day 2 was a marathon session for me that I just threw too much, both backhand and forehand. So I've learned from that. I threw less on day 3, and I'm going to throw even less on day 4, because now I have a really good feel for how this is going and what to focus on. And so I'm going to warm up not using the tech disc this time, so I don't waste any of those throws. In fact, I'm going to focus on 30 heavy throws with the tech disc, and that's it. But I'm going to be doing a number of practice throws with some putters leading up to that. All right, looks like the sun's coming out too. That's pretty cool. So it's in like the low 60s right now, so this is pretty comfortable. And yeah, let's give this thing a go. I'm actually going to try to aim more towards this area and see if I can get a positive launch angle. The launch angle is essentially the angle at which the disc is traveling. The nose angle is how far is the nose up relative to the direction that you're throwing. Nose down is essentially the same thing. Okay, so the first 10 of these throws are going to be lower power throws, just to try to hone in on what I'm doing here. 6.3 launch angle, but the nose angle was unfortunately 2.0. And just so you know, I'm not concerned with wobble at this time. That was for previous days. Speed is 43 miles per hour, which is fine. I want anywhere between 40 and 50 miles per hour. I do not want more than 50 miles per hour today, because I'm not trying to go for max distance right now. I'm just trying to go for essentially the same type of throw. And to be honest, I'm not even so concerned with left or right at this point, as long as it's within this hex. 4.6 launch angle, but still the nose angle was too high. Wobble was 4.4, that's pretty good. All right, I'm going to try to bring that nose down a touch and maybe turn the key a touch and just see how this goes. That was a little lower, but that was a 2.4 launch angle. Still the nose is up, so somehow I've got to figure out how to do nose down. Now I've seen online you're supposed to do this and it's nose down, but in my experience throwing, it doesn't actually make it nose down, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I tried focusing more on throwing like that. 2.6 launch, 2.9 nose. I'm interested in things in that order. Launch first, I want a positive launch angle between 2 and 4, and a nose angle I'd like 4 or less. Ideally I'd like to get down into the negative numbers, but getting my body to actually do that is something different. Oh, I threw that low. That's what I get for throwing 4 days in a row low into a net. Okay, 0.4 launch angle, but 3.3 nose. So launch was like this, nose was like that. Pouring the coffee really hard this time. Man, that felt weird. 4.8 launch, 3.0 nose. So that didn't help the nose angle much at all, to be honest. That was too low and too left. Well, to be honest, too low. Negative 2.3 launch, 5 nose. That's actually kind of bad. Okay, higher. That actually made it look like hyzer, more like a sharper hyzer than anything, unfortunately. 6.0 launch, so even higher. Too high for my taste, but 2.0 nose. So again, there. A touch too high. If it goes above here, it's too high in my book. I'm not going for high throws. 6.4 launch, 3.0 nose. Honestly, if I can't ever get a negative nose angle on command, I'll settle for low numbers, like 3 nose angle, positive 3 nose angle. Okay. That was the right height. Touch early, but the right height. 5.0 launch, that's about as high as I want. 1.3 nose, that's even better. So these are probably not bad distance lines relative to what I've been doing all week. Oh, ooh, that felt like a really good throw. 3.8 launch, I consider that a success. I want 4 to 5 launch is ideal for me, but 6 nose angle. Oh, that was perfect in terms of directionality and height, maybe even hyzer, but oh, the launch angle was perfect. 4.2, 7.2 nose, that is bad. 2.6 launch, but 7.1 nose, that's terrible. Well, not terrible, but that is bad. That was a good launch angle, but I don't know about the nose. 3.8 launch, 2.3 nose, I like that. Maybe that is the nose down, so tilting it that way. So it's not so much that, it's that. This I think would help with hyzer, so let's focus more on that. That was pretty good all the way around. Yep, 3.2 launch, 2.5 nose. So that is acceptable to me. I tried focusing more on throwing that like that. 1.3 launch, really a positive launch number. Up to 4 is ideal. 4 to 6 is okay for what I'm testing today. 2.3 nose, that's great. So it still said backhand hyzer, even though I thought I was throwing flat. 2.6 launch, 0.6 nose. That just felt really high. That was 3.2 launch, 0.7 nose. That should actually be pretty good. And that was backhand flat. So we're having success, folks. I'm finally getting flat throws with good nose angle and good launch angle. That definitely felt like a flat throw to me. Backhand flat, launch 2.7, nose 1.6. That's about as good as I can get. So let's keep duplicating that type of throw. Oh, I played around with it too much and it's gonna cost me. 3.2 launch, 0.9 nose. That's good. .1 launch, 1.2 nose. That was great, however. So let's play around with it. Again, what I'm trying to do at this point is slightly down like that and slightly like that, and just to see what it does to the disc. So this is what it looks like. Ooh, that felt good. I mean, kind of weird, but weird in a good way. 3.4 launch, 2.0 nose. That's good. So I need to train myself to throw more like this more often. That should be about a 0 launch angle. That's incorrect. That was a 3.6. So maybe I threw it low. It left my hand low when it came up to there. 1.3 nose, that's good. Apparently what you want to do if you want to increase your, lower your nose angle, apparently some sort of compromise between pouring the coffee a little bit more and then turning the key a little bit more gets those results. Maybe, I don't know. That should have been a flat release and a positive launch angle. Let's see. Backhand flat, 3.4 launch, 0.4 is what I want for the launch, 1.0 nose. Okay, we're getting it, we're getting it. So pour the coffee, turn the key. Pour the coffee, turn the key. That's probably near 0 launch angle and flat. That's what it looked and felt like to me. 0.7 launch, which is good. 0 to 4 is what I want. 2.8 nose. Pour the coffee, turn the key, throw the disc. Oh, that came out with hyzer. So if you pour the coffee excessively, it does make it hyzer. So in my opinion, it's probably more turning the key. Pour the coffee less, 0.7 launch, 4.2 nose. Okay, more turn the key. So in other words, what I'm trying to do is leave it flat, but turn the key a touch more. You know, by George, that may be it. Backhand flat is what I wanted. 4.7 launch, that's acceptable. 4.3 nose, that's decent. 5.2 launch, that's okay. 2.8 nose, that's better. Backhand hyzer with the 5-degree angle, that's good. That's a slight hyzer in my book. Turn the key, but otherwise leave it flat. So that was a little earlier than I wanted. 1.6 launch, that's okay. 2.9 nose, that's okay. But backhand flat, so that's good. In fact, according to that, that's negative 0.3 hyzer. So anhyzer by a slight bit. So turn the key. And again, another early release. And as long as it's in the hex, I'm okay, but it's still out here instead of here. 1.2 launch, 3.2 nose. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of good data from this. I'm going to do a few more throws and I'll stop at the 30 mark. .8 launch, 2.9 nose. Backhand flat with a 1.9 hyzer angle. That's good. That's probably a decent throw. If you're looking for simulated distance, that'll probably do it. Now, keep in mind, I can't see the distance numbers on my phone the way it is here. And I'm not really interested in distance per se in a simulation, but I'm interested in throwing better. A touch too high and a touch too left. 8.8 launch, yeah, that's too high. 1.3 nose, so turn the key for nose angle. Backhand flat, that's acceptable. Hyzer, only 2.9 degrees, so very slight hyzer. So except for the launch and the early release, so it's too high and too left. I need to get it more about here. If it comes out with this much hyzer here, and ideally a 0 nose angle, that would be ideal. Backhand flat, 2.2 launch, 0.4, negative 0.4 nose angle. That is great. 2.4 hyzer. So that would actually, and only 5.9 wobble. So given it was relatively low speed and spin throw, this would probably be a decent distance throw if you're looking at the simulator. Turn the key, elbow up. In theory, that should have been a perfect throw. Let's see what the numbers say. 4.0 launch, 0.6 nose, backhand flat with only 5 degrees hyzer. That is great. Okay, last few throws. I don't care if I go over 30. I just need to get a few more throws in where I try to iron these things out. So slight turning of the key, elbow up. That was probably a good throw for most of the part of it. Backhand hyzer, that's understandable. 1.8 launch, 0.8 nose, that is a good throw. Only 4.3 wobble, so let me try that again. A little bit late, a little bit too much hyzer. 2.2 launch, 3.0 nose, that's good. 3 out of 4 wobble. So I'm finding out the turn the key, raise the elbow are good for launch, nose, and wobble. Hey, that was good. Pulled a touch late, but 0.8 launch, only 1.8 nose, that's good. 5.7 degrees of hyzer, that's good. That's a hyzer flip up line. 4.3 wobble, that's good. So I've now created a new stroke, a new swing for me to focus on, with that elbow high, the slight turning of the key, and the goal throwing flat to slide hyzer to very modest hyzer. 2.3 launch, 4.5 nose, so the nose is a little high. And you'll notice my footwork isn't that good right now because I'm not focused on it. So I know I'm have the foot open and I'm not pivoting on my heel as much, even though I'm trying to. Just the fact is, when you have your foot open, you're more likely to land on the balls of your foot. But that was a 2.5 launch, 3.8 nose, so it was under 4. That's a good value. We're getting it down. I'm going to do one more throw, and I'm going to call it. .1 nose, that's acceptable to me. And a launch angle of 3.6, which is what I want at this stage in the game. Later on, when my tech disc comes in, I have more time refining this, I may adjust my goals. But for what I'm looking at today, that is going to do it. Okay, I'm loving this. This is day 4. I'm wrapping it up here. I'll probably do 3 extra throws off camera and do some more forehand throws just to play around with that. But that's going to do it. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, as I have one more day where I'm going to wrap up my findings with the tech disc. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.